Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a Samsung Galaxy S8. Customer broke their LCD and glass. So we're going to go ahead and replace it with a original replacement. We don't like to skimp on the parts. This is a OEM replacement from Samsung. And basically what we're going to be doing is basically taking everything out of this phone and transferring it into this bezel right here. Does take a little bit of work. You got to be very gentle with some components, but if you do it right, it comes out beautiful, and we'll have a happy customer. So I'm going to get the disassembly process started. We're going to remove the back door first. So here it is. Basically what we want to do is warm up the edge. I actually use this tool right here. Great tool. If you don't have it, please get one. Helps out a lot, and it makes the job a lot easier. On top of that, I am also using the flat blade scraper. You're basically gonna insert it up to where the bevel is. It's about 1/8 of an inch, and basically you're using that to just slightly pry up on the glass, so you can insert this tool so you can go all the way around the perimeter. Just keep an eye out. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I'm gonna get this started. So first off, I have my heating gun set up to 150 degrees, and basically what I'm going to be doing is just warming up the perimeter and just gently heat it up so you basically get the adhesive nice and malleable. So once it gets nice and toasty, I'm going to take this. And again, I'm trying to maintain the good angle, so get it in just about the 1/8 of an inch. Make some room. Don't force it, guys. You know, this is a very delicate procedure. If you force it too much, you can actually break the glass. And just by prying up, I'm able to shimmy my plastic tool in. Once I get that done, basically now, I'm just gonna quickly warm up everything. While that tool's in there, just warm it all up. This is probably going to be the easiest back removal you'll ever see. I've tried other methods, and they usually end up damaging the back. And this is quite the easiest way, I think. Warmed up, and then let's get this started. Ready? I'm going to turn it around for making it easier for me, but just keep an eye. Basically, when the adhesive is warm, it basically breaks apart pretty easy. And there it is. So it's coming apart. If you feel it getting a little tougher, again, this will cool down really, really quick. So if you feel it getting cool, get that tool away from there. Again, this tool does not like heat, and basically warm up that area. All right, let's see if it goes better. Oh yeah, just like butter. And this is the corner, again, a lot of people are afraid of. This tool, I want to take it out actually, is super flexible. You can see how I'm bending it around, and it's super thin. So it's thinner than a playing card. I mean, it's the perfect thickness. So basically, it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the perimeter. And as I get over here, you can see it's not wanting to really roll easy just because it's not warm there anymore. So I'll pull the tool out. Warm it up, guys. Take your time. There's no rush here unless the customer is choking you, but and there you go, sinks right in, and I'm able to pull it across. Again, now when I'm getting here, it gets harder. If it does feel a little hard, pull it out and basically warm it up a little. Okay, I got the whole perimeter loosened up, and I can confidently say that now I just got to really heat up in the center. Whole perimeter is loosened up. I've actually went around the whole thing and made sure that there's no more contact. Here on the bottom, slight kind of, there's additional adhesive here, a little bit of adhesive here. So we're just going to warm it up. Take your time, guys. This is start to finish, guys, so it's probably gonna be a long video. Now I'm prying, but again, I know that there's no contact. If you feel it's getting tough, just warm it up a little bit more, guys. Okay. Gently warm. If you get your hands on the adhesive, you can pull it out. Helps out a little bit more. And then last part left is this corner. Just gonna toasty it up a little bit more. Alright guys, back is off, no damage to any components. Next thing is to remove all the screws off the perimeter. I'm gonna go point them out real quick. Try to make this as detailed as possible. So you got one right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and I think there's one buried right underneath here. There's 14 screws. And basically all these screws got to come off. Make sure the phone's off. After the screws come off, this plate will come out and there's a battery connector right there. Guys, make sure you remove the battery before you start doing anything else. So first thing, let's take out all the screws and then we're gonna quickly disconnect the battery. I can also put away my heating gun. I don't need that anymore for the time being. All right, guys. All these screws are the same size, so it really doesn't matter where you put them. I just put them in one pile. They don't come out, not a big deal. Come back after and get them with the tweezers. All right, if the screwdriver doesn't have much magnetism, basically get one of these guys, and basically just go in a round motion. It'll make your screwdriver magnetic again. All right, I'm gonna come back with tweezers and pull out all the screws. Okay, almost there. All right, screws are out. Use a plastic tool, don't use metal, guys. Be careful, you don't want to damage anything. Basically, I'm going to start prying on the outside casing. Should come off just like this. Before I even go to the bottom, remove this plastic right here, you're going to actually disconnect the battery. So you you eliminate the fact that you can short out anything now. And then basically take off the bottom piece. The bottom piece basically gently pry. Okay, that's so far taking off the main frame. Now we're gonna get out the motherboard and battery and all the other components. So this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. You want to be very careful you don't damage any components. For the bottom dot connector, there are a bunch of screws. Just remember where they go. If this is your first time doing it, take a picture of the phone before and after, so when you're putting it back together, you can have a picture to reference to. But since we got the battery disconnected, now I'm going to basically disconnect all the cables, and then we're going to actually also take out the SIM tray, because that won't allow you to take the motherboard out. And then we'll go to the next step, maybe take out the battery next. Be gentle, guys. No hurry, okay? Okay. All right, and then I'm also going to take out the SIM card. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So cables, you want to make sure this is the front-facing camera and the proximity sensor. You got a bottom dot connector. You got 2 antenna cables, and on this side, I believe this is for the. I think this is the proximity sensor. We'll confirm that in just a second. And then to get rid of the dock, basically pry between the dock and the phone should come loose. And again, be gentle. We are working on static safe surfaces, so I mean, you don't want to work on a pillow or anything like that. All these components are very delicate. Yes, that was a proximity sensor. So this is the front-facing camera and the light sensor, and then you also got a proximity sensor on this side. All of this, the speaker, front camera. This is the vibrate motor that's going to come out. Our new part has a lot of the components, some components already there, but mostly the battery, the proximity sensor and the front camera and the vibrate motor had to be swapped over. And then also the bottom antenna has to be swapped into this part. So I'm gonna start disassembling things. I might fast forward it so you don't have to really look at it, but just be very careful. Use a little bit of heat and basically pry gently. If it's giving you too much trouble, just be careful. You don't want to damage any of these components. All right, all the screws for the bottom dot connector are out. I usually just stick a screwdriver into the hole for the headphones and gently pry upward. Very gentle again. You know, I have feel for it because I've done this 1,000 times, but can't stress it. Just be very careful, guys, okay? I'm gonna make everything nice and warm here. Not super hot, just warm enough where, you know, the adhesive has a little bit more give, okay? I'm gonna try to get in close, guys. Where the dot connector plugs to the motherboard, I'm gonna fold this real quick. There's an antenna right behind it, actually. Do you see this cable right here? You're gonna pull towards the inside of the phone. Use a screwdriver or something that's rounded. You don't want to damage this cable. But that cable, usually I've seen a lot of people rip it. So that, slowly wiggle. You don't know, I have half of it off. And basically, if it's nice and warm, you know, this is gonna basically make it very easy. Both antenna cables, I always remember white and black. White is on top right now, so just keep the same orientation. And basically, if you lift, it should lift right out. Okay, guys? That part is out. We're gonna move to the top now. We're gonna move the vibrate motor. You'll see on this side here, there's a small indentation. You can take tweezers or something like that and actually stick it in there and slowly pry up. But again, make sure it's warm. So I'm gonna warm this up a little bit and then I'm gonna actually start prying at it, okay? Both sides. If your LCD is good on this part, the LCD does have value. There are companies that will buy them for a good amount of money. So be very careful if your LCD is good. If your LCD is cracked, then don't worry about the heat level. I would crank up the heat and make it easier for you from the front side. But those are the scenarios. If it's a good LCD, you want to not use too much heat so you can preserve the original screen so you can sell it back. Okay, that little notch I was telling you about, it's right there. Okay, sorry about the camera angle, guys. I'm doing this, trying to make it best as I can. So the notch, when your tweezer goes in, basically will let you lift out. The front-facing cameras, they actually will lift right out. There's not much adhesive holding them up. Usually the speaker I would transfer over, but in this scenario, our parts come with a brand new speaker. So in this scenario, I will not have to transfer over this. In the case I did, I would just warm on the other side, nice and make it nice and toasty. And again, there's a little spot where you can actually get a tweezer in and pry out the part. But I'm not going to be doing that in this one. We do have to transfer over the proximity sensor, so I'm going to be doing that next, okay? Very easy, guys. Just pry up slowly. If it's warm, it'll come right apart. All right, at this stage, I'm gonna just go back to the brand new part. Start putting things back just because, you know, it makes it easier. Things don't get lost or anything like that. So I'm gonna. Okay. Things go together easy. The adhesive from the original will still stay intact if you do warm it up nicely. Okay. Again, when you get genuine parts, that's a good thing about them. All the adhesives are brand new. Okay, we'll peel that later. All right, most of the stuff is coming along. I'm gonna put the dot connector back in. Make sure you guys lift off all the little new adhesives because this is where the microphone goes. And you don't wanna leave that blocked because then you'll have to take it apart again. Basically putting it back in exactly how it came out. You know, actually I would stick this side first and then just shimmy the part in. The part should basically fall right into place, guys. Okay. If you remember when we were taking it apart, the white was on top. So that, I'll use a screwdriver to basically get everything back in. Okay, everything's going back. Black cable's down, white cable's right after. Okay, everything's back together. I'm gonna put the screws back in. Put the headphones back in. What's in my mind? All right, guys. The last and foremost, we gotta get the battery out of here. So this part I can't stress. Be careful. You poke this thing, you're gonna catch it on fire. Be very careful. Use plastic tools if possible. If you're experienced, use metal tools. You know, something like this with a rounded edge will help. These are basically tweezers, my other side of them. But again, I'm gonna try using plastic. If it doesn't work for me, I'm gonna use metal, but you know, just be very careful, guys. You wanna warm this up, make it very nice and toasty. You're gonna heat right in this area, okay? So I'm gonna heat right where the battery is. Makes the job a lot quicker, okay? So. Again, in my scenario, my part is garbage. This is gonna go right in the bin, so heating it extra will help out. A lot of the heat doesn't transfer to the battery. It's, you know, an aluminum subframe, so the adhesive will get warm. This makes it a little bit easier. Okay. I'm gonna heat this edge right here. All right, let's see how hard this is. Yeah, the plastic tools give away. So I'm gonna use a metal tool. Once you get up one side, there it is. Just be very careful, guys. Just, you know, there it is. Clean takeoff. As you can see, everything's been removed out of this old chassis with the broken front. So now this goes to recycling. The original adhesive is still very tacky, so we're gonna just keep it as is. We're gonna put it right back into place where it belongs. Okay. We're gonna lay the motherboard down now. Before I do that, I always like to just make room for it, so it sits down properly. Basically, what I'm gonna do is attach it to the bottom dock and then lay it down like this. Before you do that, remove the little sticker for the thermal compound. If you do that, I mean, there's still gonna be thermal release, but you're not making direct contact with the metal plate in the motherboard. So here it goes, guys. I'm gonna just try to do this as best as I can without messing up the angle. Okay. Okay. Slowly move everything out of the way that comes in the way. Okay. As I get to the top, move this cable out of the way. Okay, and basically the motherboard should sit properly without any fuss. If there's anything in the way, just make sure it's out of the way. If you don't see it sitting flush, there might be something caught underneath. You want to make sure you remove it. Let's go ahead and connect all the cables now. Push a little bit in this area. That's where the dot connector is meeting the motherboard, just to ensure that you got a perfect connection there. Antenna cables are always a little fussy, so I'm putting the phone down. White cable goes to the bottom. There it is. All right, here, click, that's good to go. Everything's back in. I'm gonna go ahead and basically put everything back together as I took it off. I'm gonna put this one back in just because it can go in. Here, look for clicks. Pushing around the perimeter, you wanna make sure it clicks back into the original housing. There it is. All right, that's 3 screws. Also, since I have it here, I'll just go ahead and put the SIM tray back in. Basically that holds the motherboard nice and tight towards the frame. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and put this back on. Before you put this on, make sure you guys connect the battery. All right, battery's connected. I'll put this guy back on. Okay. A couple problems people run into when they're doing this repair is they don't fully put the screws back in here and they try to turn it on to make sure the screen works. They're not gonna have a working phone. This phone requires the wireless charging module to be plugged in and in contact with the motherboard to turn on. So if you didn't fully put it back together and you're trying to turn on the screen and the screen doesn't turn on, it's because the wireless charging module is not plugged in or making contact with the motherboard. And just put a few screws in that area to test out the screen. In our scenario, we're not fully testing anything just because we are using an original part. And again, defect rate on those is like 1 percentile. We hardly get them coming back. Actually, we haven't had any come back yet. You know, that's when you use good quality parts. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing. but we will still test it before, after we're done, to make sure everything is good before it leaves the shop. All right, guys, this is the final stretch. All right, next up, we're all done. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of this adhesive. I don't think I need to show that on video. It's self-explanatory. We're gonna basically put adhesive all around the edges to make full contact with this. They do sell the kits. I think our adhesive here is a little bit better than the kit. And to ensure that you have the same gasket type seal, basically we would overlap every single edge. If you don't have the original Samsung adhesive, use this one. It's about a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch thick, and basically we go all the way around the edge, making sure every seam is overlapped so you create a watertight seal. We still don't recommend taking this underwater, but you know, again, without it being at the manufacturer, I think this is best as it gets. Even after you use the original adhesive, it's still not able to be water tested. So, you know, again, it's the best as it gets outside of Samsung. Okay. Press it in, make sure the adhesive is completely contacting the housing. Okay. Use a sharp knife. Okay. Just make sure it's overlapping, guys. That's all that matters. When you peel off the backing paper, to ensure that there's no air gaps, push along the perimeter. Okay. Okay. Got the full perimeter. Pull off the adhesive. As you can see, when I pull this, you're going to see the flap, how it came over. This part is overlapping. Overlapping. Okay. Okay, great, perfect. All right, guys. Last thing, if you're a big guy like me, I got fat fingers. This is the hardest part of it. There's the fingerprint scanner sensor. That needs to get plugged into the motherboard, and then you're gonna seat this down. Might not be able to get a good camera angle on this, but just be very careful. What I do is I lay down the right side of the phone first, line it all up. Okay. As you can see, this is how it's gonna be. It's like hinging. And then I get it close enough, and I'll use a screwdriver or something to get it to make contact. If not, what you can do is lift up the whole thing. Put your finger over the connector. Okay. This is the hard part, guys. And especially trying to do it for camera. Very hard. If I'm not doing it for the camera, I can get this done really easily because I can hold it at my own angle. Alright, so you see how funny angle I'm holding it at? I have made contact, I push down, the sensor is plugged in, then gently lift it up, and then basically line everything up. You're gonna basically start pushing around the perimeter, and then that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and power it on. There you go. If you like the video, guys, please give us a like and a thumbs up, and please subscribe to the video. If you guys liked it, and if you have any other questions, feel free to leave messages in the comment section. Also, any kind of feedback, if you didn't like certain things, please let us know. We'll do our best to make the next videos better. We are investing in better equipment to do better videos. In the next coming videos should be a lot better, but give us your feedback. We'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you again.